in Dallas, Texas for the USAPL Southern Regional Championships. Alright homies, and now we're going to describe Dara's programming template leading into the meet. So he kind of ran a variation of the Jim Wendler's 5-3-1 program, and I'm going to describe the standard 5-3-1 template. So it essentially takes the form of a 4-week cycle with 3 main training weeks and then a deload week. In the first week, you're working between 65 and 85% of your training max. The next week, 70 and 90% of your training max. And then the last training week is between 75 and 95% of your training max. And then the deload week is typically working between 40 and 60% of your training max. And a training max should usually be around 85 to 90% of your actual max to allow for room for error, but still allow you to progress and get stronger. So you're working with a load that's heavy and challenging, but on a day where you're super stressed, you didn't consume enough calories or you sleep slow, you could still hit the weight that's assigned. So in the first week, it typically takes the form of 4 training days in a week. The first day you're focusing on the OHP, the second day you're focusing on the deadlift, the third day the bench, and the last day the squat. And it's going to be the same standard template on each day with 3 main working sets. The first set is going to be 65% of your training max for 5. Next is going to be 75% of your training max for 5, and then 85% of your training max for 5. And this applies for the OHP, deadlift, bench, squat. Each day is in the first week. The second week, you're going to be 70% of your training max on the first training set, 80% of your max in the next, and then 90. With reps of 3. So for instance, on the second day of the second week, you're going to be doing bench press for your main movement, and your first set's going to be 70% of your training max, and then 80 the second set, and then 90 for the third. And then the last training week, you're going to be doing between 75 and 95% of your training max, with the first set being 5 reps, the second set being 3, and then the last set being 1. Right? So for instance, on the third day of the third week, you're going to be benching. The first set's going to be 75% of your training max for 5. The next set's going to be 85 for 3, and then 95 for 1. And then the deload, pretty self-explanatory. Typically, you're working in reps of 5, and then the first set is going to be 40%, second set 50%, last set is 60%. And then after this cycle, you can use a calculated max to increase or test your 1 rep max to increase your max accordingly, and then repeat the cycle, and you're gonna get stronger, my friend. So Dara completed about 2.5 cycles of Wendler's going into this meet. So he completed the first cycle, did the prescribed deload, went into the second. Going to the third, he thought that he didn't really need the deload week. And this caused a lot of fatigue management issues. On top of that, he was in a caloric deficit to make weight, and working with the AMRAPs of the heaviest percentage in a given workout, he probably shouldn't have done to failure because that induces a lot of fatigue. It would probably be ideal to stop at maybe an RPE 7 or 8.
So even though hypertrophic potential is maximized when working to a top set of failure, it is not ideal because strength levels decrease in later sets, and ultimately this reduces my ability to recover. So ideally, I would be working my AMRAPs around an RP 7 to 8. So this will serve as a more efficient way of training, as well as less total fatigue accumulation. So on top of working to sets of failure, I was also on a slight deficit in terms of weekly calorie intake. The way I was doing this, I was carb cycling around training, and then on off days, I was cutting carbs. This worked well in getting me to the body weight I wanted to be. But in the end, I think this made it harder to recover and resulted in more total fatigue accumulation. Near future, I'll be on a maintenance of calories since I want to maintain my body weight. I think this will help improve overall recovery rates, help me get stronger, but ultimately, I'll take a more calculated and disciplined approach to my diet and training. With the help of Kristen Duntmore, part of Juggernaut Training Systems, for Raw Nationals 2018.
Dar, they're calling you. Dar, you gotta go, bro.
What's up, guys? Wrapped up on squats. Didn't record the first attempt because I underestimated the pace of the meet. It was super fast. I basically got called up right after my last warm-up set, so I just ran on the platform, hit it. A lot of nerves going, but we got 2 attempts. On the 3rd attempt, it's fine. Learning lesson. We're gonna take this knowledge into the next one for bench.
So I ain't half the scheme. Raw diamonds on my team. Raw diamonds on lean. I took out just like a rocket. I'm gone. Elijah one Hakeem. Either way it goes, we buying out the stores. We ain't never run a lot of lean. Might as well go and pour it. Racks busting out of nigga jeans. Might as well go and blow it. Smoke it loud like nicotine. Talk drugs, not record. Conversating, not absorb it. Theodore, no informant.
I'm in this bitch before trade. I just pulled up me a A. Real nigga all in my face. 500 racks in my safe. 500 racks to the plug. What you know about showing love? What you know about pulling up?
Logging back in, post bench, went 1 for 3, opener, had the thumb loop in. Apparently that's not allowed. In the past meet they didn't call it, but this meet they called it for me. Went to my 2nd attempt, I believe I got 235. Then I went on my 3rd, 242, got it. But apparently my butt went off the bench, so a lot of technical issues we gotta address here. All right, guys, let's go to deadlift.
A 1-2. A 1-2, 1-2. Young prodigy wreaking havoc just like I ought to be. Laying the truth all on the beats till the government audits me. Demons be calling me, whole industry eyeballing me. They see the icon of me, wanna purchase my honesty. Nah, I can and I will tell the whole truth. Cause if my hand's up and down, chances are they won't shoot. But if I was a couple shades darker in the
Everything we do is
All right, guys, we're here with two-time IPF world champion Ellis McClain, and I want to know, why do you powerlift? What are your intrinsic motives for powerlifting?
Simple. I live to have fun. I don't really have a lot of motives other than just, spreading fun. I mean, that's honestly, it's a hobby, yo. I mean, it might be an expensive hobby, but yeah, it's still a hobby. I feel like at the root of all hobbies, it should be fun. At any point, if it's not fun, I don't feel like you should do it. At the same time, the root of if anything that you do, if it's hobby-wise, it should be to have a good time and have fun. At the same time, kind of spread that joy, spread that message to other people. So literally, that's just what I try to do. I don't try to do anything crazy. Obviously, if you follow me, if you know who I am, I'm not a flashy dude. I just, buy shoes, crack jokes, lift a few weights, listen to music, and that's it, man. That's it. I mean, we try to hurt ourselves to make ourselves stronger. Yeah. So just try to spread that and just keep doing it. That's it.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
All right, man.
And like, comment, subscribe.
You better like, comment, and subscribe, bro.
All right.